Hey everyone, this is Editing GB. Wanted to briefly point out, if it wasn't obvious immediately upon starting this video, I used the wrong input device. I used my webcam mic. But I think it adds to the scuffed nature of this character craft sticker pack anyway, so I'm just going to leave it as is, guys. So enjoy this low quality video. Thanks.
Okay, everyone, welcome back. It is GB. I thank you guys for waiting so long for a follow-up video. Life gets busy, and also I just kind of didn't feel like making a video, but just know that I am going to keep making videos. So, a 1 month wait period is not a long time in the grand scheme of things. So, thanks for your patience, guys, and thank you so much for all the support on the last video. That was my best performing video by far on the channel, so I really thank you guys for watching and for just all the love. So I think that it's appropriate now at this time to speak on the Character Craft sticker pack again as we approach the hopeful news from Valve on certain discontinuations from the Armory, namely hopefully the Elementals and or the Sugarface 2 sticker collections. So I think it's a good idea to look back and see how the sticker collection that has been removed is doing so far. And we're kind of coming up on 6 months of the character craft being removed, as it's almost time to remove something else. So 6 months to see how a pretty mid sticker pack has done. If you're new to the channel, I'm going to be looking at all the sticker application information from the CS Float database that I could collect. I'm going to pay attention to, I guess I can use Miro's little features. I'll be looking at the total applications, the average sticker, okay. I'll be looking at the total application, let's do a little bit bigger, and bright red. Boom, cool. All right. I'll be looking at the total applications, the average stickers per weapon, which means like how often a sticker is applied multiple times per craft. And then, I mean, that's really it. The rest is kind of supplemental information. How much did it cost? Okay. How much did it cost? Where it ranks in terms of price with regard to the rest of the stickers in that sticker rarity category, and the application, where it ranks in terms of total applications compared to the rest of the stickers. That's what this column is. So let's just start with the blues. I would like to say that I did collect this information in February, but due to CS Float's estimations being all wonky, as you'll come to see in the upcoming slides, there was a bit of change in some of these stickers, but now they're all adjusted for, they're all correct. So these are our true total application numbers that we, can get from the Western market or anyone who's ever used the CS Float extension. Anyway, a bunch of rambling, let's continue. So as we know, the two lefty stickers, they are just coming in at bottom by a lot, both very low applications. Really all of these, all the way down to Taste Bud, are kind of underwhelming. Taste Bud is interesting because it does have its second place in our 5x greater than or equal to 4x greater than or equal to 3x applications. So pretty cool there. And the only other thing that's notable is that the Quick Peek has the third most 2x or more applications at 21,000. So I guess kind of interesting. I think the main thing that we want to note is kind of these bottom five, the 5 most applied, 6 most applied or so. Our one with the most golds is still From the Deep. From the Deep still has 3 golds in the 5x, 4 or more, or 3 or more applications. And it is second overall, and it is by far our most impressive average applications per weapon at 2.45. So From the Deep still doing quite well, but we'll have to take a look and see how it did over the last few months in terms of applications. But on paper, just the raw data supports From the Deep pretty well still. Ribbon Tie, interestingly enough, has the most 1x applications, 1x or more applications. And so, yeah, that takes up a lot of its interest. The rest is that it is third place in the 3 through 5x applications, so pretty cool there. From the Deep's also second place on 2x's, but Flex remains to be our biggest 2x. It has a lot of 2x's for the butt cheek craft, as we are aware of. That also makes it a pretty decent average applications per weapon. Cool. I'd like to say that the only changes in positionings over the last month or so were these 4 stickers. Glare went down to 9th place, while Fly High took its place at 8th. And let me make sure I get this right. Taste Bud went down to 6th, while Blinky went up to 5th. So cool. Get rid of all that. Yep, this is all just difference between prices and application ranks. We need to look at blues over time. That's over here. So this is pretty cool information. I do say show my shelf. So this is all of our blues, right? This is ordered least to most applied being at the top. This is the month we're looking at, but I also collected this data. And the difference between these 2 months, you'll see on the graph, there's some up and downs here, like namely here and here. You can see all these wiggling lines going up and down. That's because that's when I adjusted for the CS float estimations and made them accurate. So it's been corrected for since on this month, but just know that the numbers look a little weird between December and February. Okay, let's take a look at our biggest winners. So without a doubt, Flex still remains to be a pretty decently strong raw applied sticker. It's the most applied. It was the only one to crack 5,000 in the last month, so pretty good. And it has a pretty decent relative change, coming in 3rd place at 4.15%. So Flex is still being applied. The price is coming down a little bit, I think, but it's still being applied fairly decently at that high price. But, compared to everything else, compared to how much more expensive it is than everything else, it is not, outperforming the other stickers by multiple factors like you would think based on its price. Aside that, From the Deep, kind of remains just solo second, getting crept up on a little bit by Ribbon Tie, but it's just not super impressive at less than 3.5% increase. If you note, before I continue, the whole blue category was averaging about 3.3% increase over the last month, so really nothing too impressive. Before I move on, I think the character graph stickers are kind of underwhelming at this point. We've had 6 months of growth, and you'll see in a little bit, how we did over the 6 months in terms of total percentages increasing, and we're very quickly declining in terms of total application relative application change in these stickers. So our most impressive sticker this month was the Chompers at 4.58%, or just 4,100 applications. So Chompers, I guess, kind of an increase. Again, it is pretty well ahead of second by about 0.3%. Blinky is our 3rd biggest winner with a 4.2% increase, or about 3,600 applications. So, guys, I mean, what do I say? There's not a whole lot to say about these stickers. You would expect Flex and From the Deep and, I don't know, maybe some other stickers to do the best, but relative to their total applications, they're doing just fine. Our biggest winners are the only 4%ers, being these 3: Flex, Chompers, and Blinky. Our biggest raw applications were obviously Flex, and then second was Ribbon Tie, which is kind of surprising to me. I don't think that sticker is very cool. And then 4,100 for Chompers. So I guess Chompers and Flex are our best performing this month for the blues. Overall, we only had 38,000 stickers applied over the last month for 15 stickers. You can do the math there, but that's about, or a little more than 2,000 on average for each sticker individually. And of course, our pretty underwhelming 3.3% change over the last month. So if we look at all that information over here, we don't really see anything crazy. You can see Flex still has a pretty good gap between first and second. If you want to, second and third are kind of getting closer together. Our lefties are still down at the bottom by a lot, and then everything in here is kind of just a free-for-all with a couple of position changes over the last month. But you can see here that back in December to January, a lot of things changed in that month. That's because I had those estimations adjusted for. So CS Float might tell you one sticker is better than it actually is when it's actually down here. So just be wary for that. You can watch my videos, but I also recommend doing your own research. The purples. So we have, our 5 purples: Say Cheese, Kawaii Eyes, From the Deep, Hypnotize, and Taste Buddy. Our biggest winners on raw applications on paper, the From the Deep Glitter still remains to be the most 5x, 4 or more, or 3 or more applied sticker. And it is the sticker with the most average applications per weapon at 2.02. So very good still there. And it is second for our 2 or more applications. The other golds are Hypnotize, coming in first for our 1x or more, or our 2x or more applications. So very good there. And also has a pretty decent 1.4. Taste Buddy still remains our most applied. I would like to point out that Hypnotize and Taste Buddy did swap places. Hypnotize was first and Taste Buddy second, but no longer Taste Buddy is the most applied sticker. It is still the most expensive by far compared to Hypnotize, but I guess there is demand behind it, and people are still applying it at this pretty high price. So that's good to know. Otherwise, Taste Buddy is pretty much second place throughout all of our categories, except for second, where it is third. So yeah, I would probably keep your eyes on these top three, the three most applied, and then just kind of take your pick. The prices are, pretty different for these three. So okay, and for the purples, pretty same story. We actually see that the Hypnotize is number one in both total applications and relative change. So this is a good month for the Taste Buddy Hollow, beating the average at 4.1%. The second winner this month was the From the Deep Glitter, which we would kind of expect. It's applied fairly often. 2,300 applications, or about a 4% increase relative to its total application data. And then we have some randomers. We have Kawaii Eyes being 3.6% increase, and the Hypnotize with a 2,300 increase of raw applications. Overall, the purples only went up by about 11,000 this last month, or a total change of 3.5%, which is beating our blue average. So purples outperform blues just a little bit this month. And we can look at our total applications over time. We can see Taste Buddy has retaken first place over the last 2 months. Hypnotize is kind of falling behind further and further. Everything else is linearly increasing. From the Deep is in third. Our Kawaii Eyes Glitter is in fourth, and trailing in fifth is our Say Cheese Hollow. So no crazy comeback stories on the purples besides, I guess, Taste Buddy taking first. All right, that's really all I have to say about Doge. We can move on to the pinks now. Pinks are foils. Yeah, there's nothing to say. The red shades is still our number one, most applied, and falls behind in a couple of categories. Our gold teeth is the most, like 3x through 5x applied, and I guess 2x applied too. But it just falls behind in terms of total 1x's, which the red shades that's a lot of its application demand. All of these have very low average sticker applications per weapon. The pinks are just not very well liked in this category, and I understand why. They all kind of look like cheeks, like nothing, but I would say gold teeth is kind of the coolest because you can turn it into like a little gold piece, but I'm not invested in them. I'm not invested in any of these foils actually, so I don't really see them doing very well, and there's no surprises in this collection. They all kind of trend in the normal direction. Pinks, nothing here. The red shades did the best with the most increase relative and most applied. The gold teeth did second with the second most, and really everything changed about the same in the pink. Yeah, just a 2.6% increase overall. Literally everything was basically 2.6% increase. So no change here. Everything's pretty much stable on the pink side of things. I'd just like to point out how little applications there are based on our total applications for the last month. So these things are really cooling off. You can see back in October and November, they were pretty strongly increasing. And I'll take a look at the total percents for all the categories in a little bit, but things are down on the months. Looking at our lenticulars, we can see that the Googly Eye remains the most applied and has a pretty decent average sticker per weapon at 1.55. Pretty good for a red. So, it actually has pretty decent 2x application. So if you want to consider it like that, you can consider a Googly Eye, instead of buying one, maybe buy two. People probably buy two at a time if they're looking to apply the Googly Eye. Aside that, Side Eyes is just, outperformed. The only thing it's better at is in price. But we can take a look. For the reds, our more expensive one, the Googly Eye, increased the most with a 3% increase and 300 applications, almost outperforming one of our pinks, which is pretty impressive. And then Side Eyes, behind by a good bit. So yep, Googly Eye continues to increase its lead over Side Eyes. So I would not invest in Side Eyes if you think it is invested upon because of its desirability. Let's look at overall trends over the last little bit. This is for all the categories: blue, purple, pink, and red. This is all the raw information, but this is more so the important information here. I'm just going to do it this way. I'm going to highlight the best performing sticker category for the last little bit. This past month, the purples performed the best at 3.5% increase. Before that, it was the purples again. Before that, in November to December, it was the blues with about 11.5%, and before that, it was the purples with a 15% increase. I would like to just point out the extremely sharp decrease in our average relative applications for all these categories over the last month. Um, Obviously, things are going to kind of go down as our total supply increases. So that makes sense, but really we just see a pretty strong decrease in our applications over the last few months. So Character Craft seems to be kind of cooling down in terms of its application rates, which if you're an investor is not a great sign. Overall, since I started collecting this, and I guess since its removal back in October, the purples have performed the best with a 39% increase in applications, and then blues at 36% increase, and then reds at 34% increase, and then coming down behind at last is reds at a 28% increase over the last 6 months or so. All right, that's kind of all the information. Let's take a look at our breakdown of actual applications. We can see that we have a total actual applications of 1.2 million for the blues, 320,000 for the purples, just shy of 50,000 for the pinks, and just over 17,000 for the reds, for a total just shy of 1.6 million actual applications. The breakdown, purples are doing a little bit better than expected. Pinks are right on average at, let me circle that, right on average at 3.1%. And then you can't see the reds, but it's doing just slightly better than 1%. And then our blues just shy of 80%, which is what we would kind of expect. Looking at our bottom line estimates, it really hasn't increased much since the last video. Our blues increased to just over 3 million bottom line. Our purples just over 600,000. Our pinks just over 120,000. And our reds just only 24,000 for a total of 3.76 million. So, you know, this is a discontinued collection for 6 months now. Our bottom line increases as more stickers get applied and listed. But, you know, things are really starting to cool off with this collection. It's just kind of sad, guys. Honestly, I really thought the Character Craft stickers would do a little bit better, but they're really not. They're kind of underwhelming overall in the last few months. You would think some of these stickers would have cool intrinsic demand, kind of like Flex with the butt cheek craft, but even still, it's slowing down at a pretty jovial pace. It's starting to get a little bit underwhelming. So I'm honestly not really interested in getting any more position into these stickers, as unless their prices really come down. But I just think that with all the news going on with other Armory collections and just you know, a lot of things going on, if you think you can snag some quiet prices and play the long game for 1 or 2 years, these might do well. But I'm honestly kind of just with the volatility of this market, less interested in long-term plays. Yeah, let me know what you guys think about the Character Craft. I will try and make a video when we get some discontinuation news, which shoot, might be today. But I'm going to just try and get this video out pretty quickly with minimal editing, just because you guys deserve an upload, and I have taken a long enough break. So, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you again for watching the previous video and giving our support. I am going to continue to make videos, don't worry about that. But this video was kind of in the gears for a little bit. I was chewing on it, and I was just kind of underwhelmed, and didn't really want to make a video that was underwhelming, but that's what this video is going to be. These stickers are a little underwhelming, so I'm going to make a little bit of an underwhelming video. So thank you guys so much for watching. That's me smiling because you guys are watching the video and watching me make awesome content. Guys, honestly, drop a like and sub if you liked the video. Yeah. Yeah, thank you guys.